Last time.
Fuck you.
Here we go.
There was the sound of something running through the bushes. His ears perked up and he listened intently. Perhaps there were two of them? They were heading this way. Conway concentrated on their presence and brandished his sword. The base of his tail stiffened, and his fur began to stand on end. The rustling in the trees and bushes grew louder. Soon there were two shadows beyond the trees. In an instant, they came closer. Suddenly, Ray ran. He drew his dagger from its sheath and charged at the two shadows. Hey! Conway's voice overlapped the high-pitched sound that echoed through the empty forest. Then there was silence. Through the gaps between the trees, he saw Ray parrying someone's attack with his sword. The silence was torn by the sound of their clashing weapons. Ray took several big steps back, and two cats jumped out of the trees to pursue him. One had a black spotted tail, and the other had black and brown stripes. What is this shit? Damn! Thought we had him this time.
You're not dead yet? It'd be nice if you just dropped dead, nerd.
Ray scoffed at their ridiculing words. They seemed to know each other. Conway only stared in amazement at their exchange.
Sorry, I have no intention of doing so. Give it up.
Give up? Give up, he says. You expect me to just say, yes, sir, to that?
Yes, sir.
Shut up, idiot. As the two of them bickered, Ray slowly readied his sword.
How about you shut that useless mouth of yours? Why don't you? You're such an eyesore, always running around us. You know how many jobs of ours you've messed up by now? It really pisses me off. Same to you.
This is perfect timing. We'll kill you here. I recently learned something new, so this'll be a breeze. The black-spotted cat smiled slightly as he sheathed his sword for some reason. The striped cat held his sword with both hands and crouched down low. By the way, the one cat's voice went from like Mickey Mouse to I don't know what the fuck. Did he intend to fight alone? Doubt entered Conway's mind. The black-spotted cat reached into his breast pocket and pulled out a flute. He put it to his lips and closed his eyes. Yes. Flute jutsu. Excellent. Could he be... Oh, wait. Wait, there was something about this at the beginning of the game where, there was like... In the parlance of Dungeons and Dragons, there was a bard class to, like, partner with the rogue. Like, one guy would sing music that would buff the other person's damage. I don't think I could have given a nerdier explanation, but yeah, I think that's what's about to happen here.
Leave.
Ray spoke slowly, as if he'd sensed Conway's unrest.
You'll get in the way. If you don't fancy dying, get out of here now.
Those two, could they be... He could say no more than that. The striped cat attacked. Ray and Conway both jumped back immediately. The striped cat had no concern for Conway, so he aimed his sword to clash with Ray's. Even though Ray had told him to leave, Conway didn't move. He didn't want it to look like he was running away again. Besides, he wanted to see how this fight played out with his own eyes. From the looks of it, Ray had the advantage. He used his dagger to skillfully counterattack, pushing the striped cat to retreat.
Hurry up. Damn cat. I'll rip your tail off.
I get it. Shut up. I'm not in harmony yet, so shut up. The black-spotted cat then played his flute. The sounds vibrated through the air and seemed to shake through the depths of the forest. Suddenly, the body of the speckled cat began to glow faintly. His hair and tail swayed gently as if he were floating in water. He began to play a melody on his flute, a high-pitched, fleeting tune that enveloped their surroundings. That cat, was he a sanga? Sanga? Bard? This was a song. He was sangaing. Particles of delicate light emitted from the chest of the speckled cat and flowed towards the striped cat. The striped cat grinned. "Keep going, idiot." The striped cat stepped back, then charged at Ray the very next instant. He moved like a fish in water. Conway's eyes were filled vividly with that power. Ray retaliated with his swords and an angry cry. Not even leaving time to blink, the striped cat started to thrust his swords with a frightening speed. Ray grit his teeth and parried the succession of attacks with the two swords in his hands. He didn't have the opportunity to counterattack. The striped cat just kept coming. He grumbled, as if this fight wasn't enough for him. The echoing sounds of the flute filled the air. The tune already had a slight note of triumph to it. It's different from before, right? This is a new song. It grants the power of the wind to my toga. Feels good, right? A song that bestowed the power of the wind? Conway looked carefully. The striped cat's movements certainly seemed carried by the wind. It was like he was controlling it, receiving its support.
Can't you put more power into your singing?
Shut up. I'm playing perfectly. Your arms must be bad. Hurry up and kill him. As they argued, there was a chance to attack, but Ray remained on the defensive. He'd gotten some distance between them, but the striped cat followed as if drawn by an invisible thread.
Running away?
As Ray tried to jump into the depths of the trees, the striped cat reached out and grabbed his tail. Rude. Ray was pulled down, and both he and the striped cat fell. The two of them hissed and growled ferociously as they violently struggled with each other. Dust flew everywhere. The sound of the flute spiraled up and intensified. Having their swords away, they kept fighting with their claws and fangs. Flecks of blood stained Ray's skin here and there. His throat shook as he stifled his moans of pain. If this kept up, Ray would probably lose. Damn it, Conway muttered, turning his eyes to the black-spotted cat. The one giving power to the toga was that cat, the sanga. He thought, maybe if he could defeat that sanga somehow, they stood a fighting chance. Well, sneak up behind him and knife him. Why he even considered it, why he was so desperate, was something he didn't even really understand for himself. But Ray had saved his life once, so he couldn't just abandon him and leave. He aimed for the sanga. With his ears lying flat and his pupils narrowed to slits, Conway leapt at the black-spotted cat. He needed to stop the song. In his mind, that was all that mattered right now. The black-spotted cat opened his eyes wide in surprise. Conway lashed his claws as hard as he could at the cat's face. These are some really dumb villains. They just ignored the other person on the side, just being like, oh yeah, he's not gonna be an issue.
Hey!
The striped cat turned around and immediately lunged at Conway.
You stupid cat!
Ray barked as he sat up. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw the spotted cat leap at him. In front of him, the striped cat drew his claws. A hot shock surged through his shoulder, through his tail, but he didn't have time to feel pain. He didn't know what happened, but he saw someone biting at him, and claws lashing at what was touching his hand. There was a scream, but he didn't know if it was his own or the other two cats. Suddenly, a muddy stream flowed into his chest. The effect of his empathy. Emotions spread through him. They crept into the depths of his chest, as if he'd breathed in a whirlwind of them. He felt horribly nauseous. It hurt. He swallowed. He couldn't breathe. His view, thoughts, and consciousness split open and were buried. While he drowned in these emotions, he suddenly felt that a light was born and rose up. White light rose inside him and overflowed. He began to hear the subtle hints of some kind of sound, a gentle melody. It flowed pleasantly. This was a song. What song was it? He remembered the poet. He released a song in light.
Gah?
The screams practically pounded into his ears as he returned to consciousness from amidst that white space. Like a gust of wind, Ray flashed across his view. Conway fell to the ground as his eyes followed the spectacle. While he was being overwhelmed just a little while ago, Ray was, amazingly, now on the attack. He was fighting both cats at once, cornering them. He thrusted his sword out without an ounce of concern. The sound of the flute stopped, and the incessant clashing of swords replaced it. Had something happened to Ray? Had they crushed the opponent's sanga? No. Conway felt like Ray had gained strength beyond even that. Because Conway is a sanga or something, and he's given him his sangu. He felt the expression on Ray's face had changed. He strained his eyes. He was smiling. Chills ran down his spine. Unable to understand the situation, Conway tried to stand. Pain ran through many parts of his body, but strangely it wasn't painful at all. He felt power surge up from deep within him. He inadvertently looked over his own body, startled. Light. Threads of thin white light surrounded him. When he looked closely, they seemed to be drifting towards Ray. This is... In a daze, Conway heard a faint song. More precisely, the song echoed from within him. He was filled with the melody and light, and his stiffened tail relaxed. Ray walked around the two cats with great dignity, as if they were linked. More light welled inside him and then flowed out of his body. The song echoing in his ears intensified. This was a song of battle. The thought was sudden. No words were spoken, but suddenly lyrics began to rush through his head. He was singing with a voiceless voice. Ray's movements were undoubtedly swift. They continuously flowed one after the other. In the blink of an eye, various sounds followed them. His lack of hesitation captured Conway's eyes, entrancing him. Finally, two high-pitched sounds seemed to stop time. The two cats lost their weapons and gripped their teeth, glaring in aggravation at Ray.
Damn it.
They were together? I had no idea.
I'm ending this.
Ray put his dagger back in its sheath and drew his long sword.
So, I think we should leave now, okay?
Run! The two of them suddenly turned at the same time and jumped into the grove of trees.
Wait.
Ray lowered his posture in order to jump after them. But instead, Ray stopped and turned around towards Conway. In no time, the two cats' presences had vanished. Should you be letting them escape like that?
You.
Ray stared at Conway. He sensed confusion flickering in his blue eye.
I heard a song. From you.
A song? A song. The battle song. That reminded him. He could no longer hear that song. The threads of light surrounding his body also faded and disappeared. The song without words sounded in my head. Then I was suddenly filled with power. It was like some kind of dormant energy had been awakened. I didn't know it'd have that much of an effect. Ray narrowed his eye as if he was trying to determine something.
You. Could you possibly be a sanga?
Sanga. Him? Conway couldn't immediately digest the meaning of those words, but after a little bit of thought, it dawned on him. He was dumbfounded. A sanga? Me? I'm a sanga?
Yes. Perhaps. You've never sung before.
Unable to think about very much, he only nodded. Ray smirked.
It's something that seems to present itself at the most valuable times. Toga can feel it. You're a sanga.
Conway was speechless, unable to decipher if he felt happy or scared. He just couldn't believe it. It didn't seem real. He was a sanga. Yeah. His ears and the tip of his tail prickled and went numb. That can't be true. Ray muttered reflexively with a scornful scoff.
You'll realize it eventually. Not using this newfound power, is your loss. There are plenty of cats who want to be able to do this, but can't.
Use it? How?
Do you remember when you were singing?
When he was singing, he remembered the two cats had pounced on him, but after that his memories were a blur. He hadn't even realized Ray was fighting them. Conway shook his head. Ray sheathed his sword, his tail swaying from side to side.
I see. So it was an accident. You'll need to train until you can control it.
Train? I have so many question marks. When he repeated his words, Ray's hand caught his shoulder. He pulled him close, a blue eye drawing near. Surprised, Conway reflexively looked away. Let go of me.
Come with me, baby. I'll make you sing.
Huh? The sudden words bewildered him.
I'm going to help you to enhance your sanga abilities.
He felt a strong aversion and shook his arm free from the hand on his shoulder. Enough, please? Thank you? He scowled at Ray. First off, enough of this shit. I didn't ask for your help and I didn't agree to go with you anywhere. Don't just decide things on your own.
Then, what are you gonna do?
Conway fell silent, unable to think of a retort on the spot. Because of all the strange incidents that had happened to him, his mind was still blank. He stared down at his feet. Ray's gaze pierced him, and he felt like just running away. Before that, answer my questions, and then I'll think about it.
Fine.
Why? When I was attacked by the bandits, you helped me escape. But then we met again today, you suddenly attacked me. Just what are your intentions?
Back with the bandits. It was just on a whim. I was cleaning up small prey. That's all. Today, I was testing your strength to see how long you could hold your own.
Test my strength? Why did you feel the need to do that?
I enjoy fighting skilled opponents. If they're not strong, they'll probably be killed by bandits or monsters, sooner or later. Had I killed you earlier, it wouldn't have been much different.
So you're just some random murderer?
Perhaps. If you want to think of it that way, go ahead. I don't really care.
Huh. He felt disgust at Ray's shameless words and uncaring attitude. So all that mattered was his own enjoyment, and others were just playthings. Trying to keep his emotions in check, Conway continued. And those two from earlier?
Colleagues of mine. Well, I guess I should say, business rivals.
Business rivals?
Near Ranson, there's a hideout in the forest where news of bounties come in. There was some guy in the forest. I was about to collect the bounty on him when you appeared.
Bounties? You're a bounty hunter then. The world of turning one's strength into profit, huh? Even so, Conway still didn't know why Ray wanted to test his strength. Wait a moment. Near Ranson? Conway instinctively looked towards Ray. Ranson is near here?
It's not that far.
There's a path? Ray nodded. Conway's ears twitched.
You want to go to Ranson?
Yes.
The reason?
When Conway kept quiet, Ray gave him a condescending smirk.
I asked, and you're quiet. Now who's the selfish one?
Ray's words spurred his irritation on again, but he had a point. Conway pursed his lips and stifled his anger.
Whatever. What do you want to do? Decide. Are you coming with me, or not?
You're going to Ranson?
Yeah. I suppose I could go back?
He couldn't stand Ray's attitude. Ray only wanted Conway to come along for his own gain, but if he stubbornly walked away from Ray, he'd probably just be wandering around the forest again. It was too unpleasant to accept. If he was going to Ranson, so you could try finding a Sato, I don't know. Maybe. I'll go too. He looked at Ray with determined eyes. Ray fixed his eye on Conway for a few minutes, then turned on his heel.
Follow me.
Jesus.
She shoots, she scores. Keep calm. And trace her off. Keep calm. I have this under control.
Patrol!